So at the start of this video, I want to go ahead and say I don't have any bias towards either Airbnb Automated or Sean or ShelbyChurch. This isn't a video of me picking sides or whatever. This is literally just a video of me talking about what I've personally experienced and kind of how this comes off to me. And I hope that some of you guys can agree. I'm really curious of your guys' opinions down below because I think this is going to cause a lot of talk in the space, maybe not. But I think I have a pretty few valid points here. So I hope you guys stick around. I hope you guys enjoy this video. And I'm about to drop a little knowledge on y'all. So for those of you guys that have no context about who either of these people are, Sean is a person that makes videos on how to Airbnb, mainly like Airbnb Automated. He essentially does videos on rental arbitrage. He owns 150, or I guess rents 150 apartments all across America, has a whole business that runs itself renting out these apartment buildings and then making profit, etc. And because of that, he sells a course. Like he sells teaching this to other people. This is someone that I've watched for, I want to say like 3 or 4 years. I'm like, it is like Facebook group where you can see all kinds of other hosts talking about things. And there's just a lot of knowledge to gain there. So that's kind of who he is. Shelby, on the other hand, is like this bigger YouTube girl. She does a lot of investment stuff, and her stuff seems kind of more casual. I will say her videos are very relaxed. I do enjoy them, the style of them and all that. But it doesn't really seem fitting for me, like how she just kind of calls people out and stuff. It almost seems as like bully behavior. Like you have this YouTuber with like 2 million subscribers saying that like this other YouTuber with, I don't even know how many yet, like 100,000 or something. Essentially, she came out and said, well, I'll just roll the clip.
Is still often promoting doing Airbnb, probably I think because he has a course that he sells for like $500 on how to do Airbnb. So there is some incentive there to promote Airbnb, to get people to want to do it. But his calendars look pretty empty, and he's even talked about that in some more recent videos.
I went through a bunch of his listings, and there is like almost no bookings at all for many of these properties. And almost all of them are priced under $100 a night. I don't know how he could possibly not be losing money, honestly.
I would keep that in mind when you're watching some of these other YouTubers who are really promoting it.
Yeah, so basically she's saying that he is basically telling people to like full send into Airbnbs or short-term rentals to get these insane returns. And then she has a video recently that she posted where her $1.2 million extravagant house actually came back a net negative on the year, her first year on Airbnb. There's a lot of things you can dive in deep to that. And we will briefly talk about that. But yeah, so that's kind of the context of the video that I want to put out there at the very start of this. As you guys seen, the one big thing that she called out was that if you look at his calendars, they're pretty much empty, right? So I'll show you quick screenshots of my calendars, my future calendars. You got empty, you got empty, you got empty, right? Like there's no bookings. And to a lot of people, this may be kind of a worrisome, kind of something to be scared about. And I will say, being an Airbnb host for a little over 2 years now, and I think I'm a good person to speak on this because there's a difference in the two opinions here in the two type of properties. You know, Shelby has this big property that, you know, families might book out 6 months in advance to try to, you know, plan a travel there for a wedding or for a bachelor party or for just a family reunion, like whatever the case may be. Whereas Sean is running these, you know, studio apartments where it might be some dude that's just traveling in. So I've ran both of these properties. I have done rental arbitrage with little apartment buildings. I have a 7-bedroom, 5-bath house with 2 kitchens. That's 5,000 square feet. So I can kind of understand both sides, right? But what I will say is, and anybody that does Airbnb knows this, or maybe you don't, and maybe you should learn it now. If you're booked out like in advance, like I talked to someone recently and they said like their whole July is booked, right? Now I'll say on my properties, I currently manage 5. I'm about to go to 7 here in the next month. I have like no bookings all summer, right? And I used to, when my first year of Airbnb, I had every single weekend rented out for the whole year, like 8 months in advance. There wasn't a single weekend that was open. Why was that? It's because I wasn't priced right, right? So that's one thing. Second thing is Shelby uses a property manager. So like she literally has someone that is the nerd, as in like me or like maybe Sean is, that gets things booked. You know what I mean? So if you had to be Sean's account and Sean's calendar, I would have no problem filling it, right? Like my calendars look the same. When January started, I think my highest occupancy calendar was like 30 something percent. I had one that was 13%, one that was 9%, whatever. And now I'm ending January roughly at like a 70% occupancy. And that's the slowest season of the year for me, right? So when you look at future calendars and stuff, it's just how your pricing model is. And it's nothing to really worry about. It's nothing to really stress about. I'm not, you know, I have probably 5 bookings, 6, 7 bookings all summer, but I know that this summer my houses are gonna bang. I'm gonna make a ton of money and I'm not worried about it. So there's a little bit of a difference in this whole business model that we're talking about here, right? So Sean obviously has 150 properties that he's accumulated through rental arbitrage as a business. It's what he does for a living, right? Like he's talked about openly, you know, how much money he's profiting from the company and in general, just overall how everything's going, right? Like the numbers, he's broken everything down. So has Shelby, right? But Shelby has a property manager and she's talked about how, you know, she used her house for a vacation, a family vacation for like 2 weeks, which is awesome, right? Like I've done the same with my homes, but I feel like you can't make a video talking about how your house, you know, net lost money last year. And because your house net lost money, you're now basically saying that Airbnb or short-term rentals are a bad investment. And then you're basically attacking people who, in my understanding and from what I've watched, is essentially trying to help you. Like he's trying to educate you in a nice, friendly way, right? Like he's literally made videos about it, trying to, you know, encourage you to do this, this, and this because he knows that it'll help you, right? So to me, the way that comes off is like, you can't really compare the two, right? One person is using theirs with a property manager. They're coming off as net negative. The other person has survived through COVID when a lot of people failed, is now dealing with all the challenges that's happening right now in Airbnb. And quite frankly, like she said that he's just like shouting out for everyone to invest and like, it's so good, which a couple of things. One, do you necessarily think that like all the advice he gives for free is beneficial to him, right? Like there's a lot of secrets that he gives out for absolutely free on his YouTube channel that, quite frankly, doesn't really help his business, right? Like it makes competition for him and, you know, like it just is, right? Yes, he does have a course. Yes, he does profit off the course, I'm sure, but there's a lot of knowledge. If you go on his Facebook group, you'll see like case after case after case, like, thank you so much. They've grown to 200 properties. Like some of them has even passed him and like done even better, right? But the one thing I want to kind of get down to is like, how much of this for Shelby was an actual investment versus like something she just wanted to enjoy, right? Like she bought this $1.2 million. It's a beautiful home. She's up overall in the home because it's appreciated a bunch. But like it's $1.2 million, and for the year, I think she said it grossed somewhere like 87,000 or something like that. I could be wrong on the numbers, but I'll pop them up on the screen. So if this property has, you know, grossed that amount of money for the year, for me, it begs the question of, I have a $300,000 property that I bought that grossed more money than that. And so it's like my idea with Airbnb and the reason why I got into short-term rentals is because the same reason that she's doing, which like I want to own a bunch of properties, vacation resorts around America and maybe even outside of America one day that I can go travel to, right? I can go visit, I can go take my family, my friends, whatever, we can go stay there and have a great time, right? That is a big goal of mine. So maybe where that's kind of her goal and that's where she's at, right? She's not too concerned that her house, you know, was negative a couple thousand or whatever because, you know, it's appreciating, she got to enjoy it, whatever, it's worth it for her. But then you can't turn with that opinion and that kind of stance and then say like, oh, but this person over here doesn't have any bookings and they're losing money and blah, 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 right? Do you think that he would still be in business if he was losing money? You know, 150 properties, all the rents. Like if you add up the amount of bills that this man must carry, it's probably $200,000, $300,000 per month. So if he was losing money, obviously that'd be a big red flag. Obviously that'd be something to think about, right? When you're talking about losing like $5,000 over the course of the year, enjoying it on a family vacation and all this, it's not really too much of a deal, but it's two different things, right? Like this is the man's business versus this is like your play toy, kind of. But it's just weird because if you were to, I don't know if it's like maybe a lack of knowledge or I don't know. Like once again, I don't really know her goals with it all. But like I said, I have a $300,000 property that grossed more money last year than her $1.2 million property. So by that metric, you know, if her house was worth, I mean, quick maths, literally 4 times less money, she would have obviously profited a lot, right? Then she probably wouldn't be making all these videos talking about how Airbnb or short-term rentals is so bad and you're going to lose money, don't do it, blah, 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 blah. Whereas maybe it was just a mistake on the investment. Maybe you just bought the wrong property. Maybe you bought in the wrong area. Maybe this property manager is a bad idea. I mean, quite frankly, if you have a property manager and you're going negative for the year, you probably need to relook at your property manager. I manage some properties for some people, and I promise we're not going negative on the year. They're very happy with the results. So it's just, I don't know. I've seen this. I wanted to sit down and talk about it really quick, but it just feels really, like I said, it feels like bully mentality. Like you got this big YouTuber that, you know, isn't where she's an expertise or anything like that, and calling out like one of the biggest from our community, like one of the smartest, most talented. Like he knows his fucking numbers, you know, he crunches the shit. And I've gained a lot of knowledge off him, right? I consider myself a nerd, but like I've gained knowledge off watching his videos or being in the Facebook group. And this wasn't really a video to like defend him. I guess it probably came off that way, but just in general, I mean, it just seems like she made a bad investment, and because of that, now she's calling out everyone in the space. I don't know. It's weird to me, and I just wanted to rant about it and kind of get your guys' opinions flowing. But yeah, I think that's going to be all I got for this video. If you guys made it to this point, man, please drop a like. I could see this video getting some dislikes just because, you know, YouTube things. But there was a little drama in this space, and I had to put my 2 cents in. Thank you guys so much for watching, man. I do appreciate you guys. Make sure you sub. Turn the bell on. I'm trying to get monetized up in this mug again. We got to get this shit popping. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Sorry, I'm still on the ghetto setup. I promise I'm going to fix it soon. The arms are looking big, man. We've been working out. We killing this year, dude. We killing this year, working on a couple properties. The next video will be in a couple days showing you guys the last property we closed on. And kind of going over the numbers. Thank you guys for watching. You guys have a great one, and I'll see you later.